Hey everybody, so in this video I'm going to show you an alternative way for taking that face-to-face discussion-based lesson and converting it into an asynchronous module. So in the first video we talked through some guidelines for how to make that transformation happen and how to make an asynchronous module according to best pedagogical practices. And in the second video I showed you one way to do that, right? This way that has students clicking through the various parts of the module with sort of all the bells and whistles, right? But in this video, I'm going to show you how to make a module that's also very user-friendly and intuitive for students that takes a little less work for you as an instructor and a little bit, you don't need to be as intensive in your sort of icon skills. Okay, so you'll notice that for this module, instead of having that overview page, I have a header here, a text header in this module that tells them the steps, right? They're going to watch the video lecture, they're going to engage in a discussion board, watch the German commercial, and write a reflection, right? And for some reason, my numbering is off. I don't have a 4 in front of that, so I'm going to go in here and edit. This is why we do these things, to find our own errors, is it not? There we go. That's how that should be. And then as with the last version of this module, I'm going to mimic that language, watch, engage, watch, write, in my headings throughout here, right? And note that, for example, this is a page that I created, and so the title of the page is going to be whatever shows up here. So when you make your name for your page, make sure it's what you want to appear in the module, right? So then the students would click through this way, right? They watch this fable, right? And they can then click through and it'll take them to the various parts using these previous and next buttons. These aren't quite as intuitive as those arrow buttons I showed you how to use because they are automatically generated by icon. So they sometimes have students navigate through in a way that's not the most intuitive. For example, in this case, the students are navigating through all of the discussion posts instead of maybe just like clicking one that they want to work on, right? But these can be useful if you want to set up a module more like that one I've talked about in the previous one, but figure out how to use these automatic next and previous buttons more intuitively. But this module is really set up so that students see each of the parts and kind of return to this view between each section, right? So they watch and they have each of the discussion posts and then the final assignment. And you're noticing that I'm using this indent function in modules in order to make it really intuitive, right? So they sort of see the different steps outlined in a sense, in the same way that they might outline notes, right? So I'm going to show you how to create this. So I'm going to go up here to modules. And I hit that plus arrow at the top to make a new module, and I hit add module, and here it is at the bottom. Right, I'm going to go ahead and hit publish, because otherwise students can't see it. Now, I'm going to add the various steps of my module in here. So, in the previous version, I had a page with the video embedded in it. When I'm working with this version of a module, or this type of module, instead of creating a bunch of pages with instructions and embedded links, I'm going to put each video lecture, discussion post, assignment directly into the module, since I don't need to, for example, create those forward and back arrows, and I'm not giving students the overview in the same way, right? I'm using those text headers to give overviews instead of creating a page with more fleshed out instructions. So to insert, for example, that video lecture, remember that UI Capture is an external tool, a little bit strange, so click External Tool. All right, scroll down, all the way down to UI Capture. Click the video, insert, right? Add item. Okay, I'm going to publish that. Oh, and I actually forgot to add my text header. So I'm going to add text header. And let's see if it has the one that I have saved. Nope, that would be too easy. Okay. Watch the video lecture. 2, engage in 1 discussion board. 3, watch the German Christmas commercial. 4, write a reflection. See, I'm going to move this to the top and hit publish. All right, so what do we need after the video lecture, right? We need these discussion boards. And in order to remind students that they're not going to participate in all the discussion boards, they're just going to participate in one, I'm going to add another text header that says that. I'm going to indent it to create that sort of organization, almost like an outline. For some reason, that add button is blurred out. This is a funny thing that sometimes happens. Icon can sometimes just be a little bit glitchy. All right, but sometimes just sort of jumping to another thing and seeing if that will help, and see, it fixed it, even though there's no reason that it fixed it, but just me acting like I was going to add something else instead of a text header made that button become unblurred. Okay, and then I need to add in my discussion, my 4 discussions that they can pick from. So I'm going to go up here and click discussion, Beauty and the Beast. I'm going to indent it twice, once again, to create that sense of order. I'm going to add another one. Let's do Finding Nemo, Frozen, and then finally the Choose Your Own. All right, there we are. I'm actually gonna, you see how because of this little icon, these aren't lining up, and so it makes them look like they're sort of at different outline levels when they're not. I'm actually going to increase the indent. So by clicking these 3 dots here, you can edit and also increase and decrease the indent. I'm also going to increase the indent on all these to make the sort of difference more clear. Make the kind of visual symbolism more intuitive, okay? And then I still need to add the writing section, right? Now, what I could do here is in order to be really consistent with these stages, I have the commercial embedded into that assignment, right? But what I could also do is go external URL, and then I could put in the German Christmas commercial, right? So I could go here,
customized
copy the
insurance,
URL,
you gotta see to believe.
and then put watch the commercial. Okay, add item. There we are. I'm going to decrease the indent on that. All right, and then final step, add the assignment that they're going to use for their written work here. Okay, and there we are. If you want more in-depth about how to make each of the pages, right, or how to make, for example, this assignment, I showed that in the last video. I can show you just again here real quick. Basically, whenever you want to create something in Icon, you go to the thing you want to create over here and look for this yellow plus button, right? So I'm going to create an assignment. I go over here, I hit the yellow plus button, and I give my assignment a title, right? And then I can write directions. I can also embed a video, right? Okay, and I can include links. So say I wanted to link to a reading, right? I could go over here and link to a file, maybe that's a PDF, right? I could link to a page that maybe gives them more instructions. So you can use all those tools that we talked about in the last video when you create something like an assignment, right? Then I would set up all the things for how they're going to turn it in and how I'm going to grade it, deadlines, etc., and hit save, except I'm not going to actually here, right? So that's how you make one of those assignments kind of with all the bells and whistles, all right? And I think that's everything. One note on how to upload a video to UI Capture. I realized I didn't go over that in this particular video. So you go over here to UI Capture, Now you can't, if you have a video lecture, you can upload it to files the same way you would a PDF or an image, but there's a significant problem with that, which is that you have a limited amount of storage in any given icon site. So UI capture sort of allows you to get around that, right? Because they store things in a different place. Don't ask me where, I don't know, but I just know that it's different in the UI capture system, I guess, so that you're not taking up space on your own icon site. Because especially if you're doing a lot of big video files with long lectures, you're going to run out of storage space really, really fast. So instead, go over here to UI capture, hit create, upload, and then you can just you can drag and drop the file into this box, right? Or you can click on it and it'll have a drop-down menu that you can choose a file from your computer, right? UI capture is also great because it has options for closed captioning, which is really important to students who need it, and also has some options for storage, titling, things like that. So generally speaking, UI capture is just a better place to upload any videos or lectures that you want to use. Obviously for things like YouTube, you can just use links, but if it's something that you've created, UI capture is the way to go. All right? Okay, and there we have our module, which follows all of our guidelines of using links and headers to make it as intuitive as possible, chunking our content to make it more digestible for students, using these discussion boards to create smaller cohorts in order to foster community, and also using discussion boards to create an informal space, and then the written reflection to create a more formal space, right, that also helps foster community. All right, there we are. If you have any questions, always feel free to contact Ideal at ideal@uiowa.edu. Thanks for watching.